Welcome to Motorbike Explorer. In the last episode, I visited one of the most beautiful lakes in the world called Lake Atitlan and continued southward toward the colorful city of Antigua Guatemala, which has made it into the UNESCO World Heritage List back in 1979. The city of Antigua Guatemala used to be the capital and dates back to as far as 1543 when it was established in its present-day location. Before that, the city was relocated twice due to the scarcity of natural resources, and also because it was destroyed by the eruptions of a nearby volcano. Antigua Guatemala is very unique and charming due to its colorful Spanish Baroque-style architecture and the very bumpy cobblestone streets that decorate the entire city. According to a 2013 census, there are about 46,000 inhabitants in the city. Its economy is supported by tourism and the many Spanish language schools visited by tourists from all over the world. And because tourism is high in the city, there are strict laws that govern the city's development in order to preserve its historic foundation. The city is laid out in a simple grid pattern so it's easy to navigate around. There are many beautiful churches, a cathedral, municipal buildings, and palaces that adorn the city. Some of these historic buildings are in need of full renovation due to earthquakes and/or abandonment. Some of the places I visited on this trip only required a day or two to really explore, but I have a feeling I'll be staying in Antigua for a week to really soak up this beautiful town and its people. My hotel is located just a couple of blocks from the center, which makes everything an easy walking distance away. Strolling the sidewalks of Antigua, you immediately get a sense of relaxation, and also a feeling of being welcomed by the locals. They really understand the importance of attracting visitors to the city. Surrounding the central area are lots of good restaurants, fancy cafes, gift shops, and clothing stores, all of which are camouflaged by the city's architecture. But leave room for the street food, which has been some of the best and least expensive cuisine I've sampled on this trip so far. Pictured here is the Cathedral of St. James, which stands beautifully restored after being damaged by multiple earthquakes. The 17th century Santa Catalina Arch once allowed cloistered nuns to pass from the church to a school. The arch is one of the most recognizable landmarks in Guatemala. The Baroque-style La Merced Church was completed in 1767 after a 16-year construction period. It has survived the 7.5 magnitude Santa Marta earthquake of 1773. On this particular day, there seems to be a lot more visitors to the city than normal, and after speaking with some other tourists, I was informed that a rather large festivity was about to take place during my stay. Semana Santa, or Holy Week, is a deep part of Guatemala's Catholic traditions, imposed by the Spanish during colonial times. It is celebrated during the week of Easter Sunday. The Sundays leading up to Easter are celebrated as well with religious processions, featuring richly decorated parade floats and alfombras, which are carpets made of colored sawdust, pine needles, fresh flowers, fruits, and vegetables. The processions are quite the spectacle, and today there are still 3 weeks to go to Holy Week, so I can't imagine what the city must be like then. There are thousands lined up along the sidewalks watching the floats and marching bands parade on by. I later discovered that the celebrations begin on Ash Wednesday, the first day of Lent, and runs until Good Friday. That's a whole 45 days of festivities. The parade lasted well into the nighttime hours, and the floats became even more spectacular with all of their lights turned on. By the end of the night, I started to get a little emotional from looking at the faces of the float handlers. They've been carrying the floats all day and night, reminding onlookers of how strong their religious faiths are. week went by all too fast, and it was that time again to pack my gear and hit the road. I will greatly miss this charming city, but there is still much more of Guatemala to see. I am smiling ear to ear. Antigua Guatemala has been one of the nicest cities I've visited so far. I really do feel that a country is made up by its people, and I've had the best interactions with the locals here. I once forgot to grab my change from a street food vendor, which wasn't much money at all. The lady I gave my cash to yelled at me as I was walking away, to remind me that I'd forgotten my change. She handed it to me with a smile. That simple act of kindness made my day. If you decide to visit the area, give yourself plenty of time to really immerse yourself here. There is so much to explore and so much unique cuisine to taste. And if you're really brave, plan your trip around Semana Santa. It will be a memory that will last a lifetime. So long, Antigua Guatemala. Perhaps I'll visit you again sometime. From Antigua Guatemala, I will be heading closer to the border with Honduras, and will stay in a town called Chiquimula for the night. I have a very large city to pass in between Antigua Guatemala and Chiquimula, and that is the capital, called Guatemala City. The city's metro area has an estimated 3.3 million according to a recent census. This makes it the most populous urban area in all of Central America, which should make for some interesting traffic congestion. Looking at my GPS, there may or may not be a main highway that passes directly through the city. I just hope that it's easy to navigate through, because every time I drive through a city, I get lost. So it looks like I just made it to the outskirts in a section of the metro area called Mixco, and so far the traffic is looking pretty light. There's downtown Guatemala City, off in the distance. Oh, wait a second. Uh-oh. What's going on? Oh no. I've lost my transmission. I've lost drive. Okay, think quick. I'm on a slight decline, so I'll just use gravity until I can sort things out. Oh no, not today. Not now. This sucks. Okay, so this is really bad. I've just had a major breakdown right on the outskirts of Guatemala City. The engine is still running, but I've lost the function of my transmission. This is definitely not good. Once I ran out of downhill, I had to push my extremely heavy bike up a hill and turned into the first shop that looked like a maintenance garage. Turned out this place was just a salvage yard. I ran into a local in the salvage yard and he agreed to show me where there is a maintenance shop nearby. I began pushing my heavy bike uphill again in the hot Guatemalan sun for about an hour on the side of the highway, while my new friend led the way on his motorbike. I had to stop several times to rest and drink water, but we eventually made it to the maintenance garage. The mechanic and I started disassembling the bike and discovered that my front sprocket, along with its retaining nut, came loose and fell off the transmission, damaging the threads of the output shaft in the process. So this means I will need new parts and will have to completely rebuild the engine in order to change the shaft. The mechanic informed me that they were not equipped to make this kind of repair, but the mechanic's boss suggested welding the retaining nut onto the shaft until I can find a larger maintenance shop. This, unfortunately, was my best option. So we then pushed the bike around the corner to a fence welder and then put everything back together. The entire repair job took about an hour and I was back on the road again. But will the repair hold up to the brutal road conditions and the heavy weight of my bike? I still have about 4 more hours to go to get to Chiquimula, and knowing the condition of my bike, it's not going to be a fun 4 hours at all. This has been the second major breakdown so far in this trip, and it's starting to really stress me out. I'm questioning myself if I chose the right bike for this trip. Maybe this bike isn't the most reliable given the frequent use, hot climate, and poor road conditions. This breakdown is also making me realize how vulnerable I am traveling alone through all of these countries, especially through the isolated areas where you don't see too many people. Your day can turn from good to really bad in a matter of seconds. I have so many thoughts running through my mind right now. Will this dodgy repair last until I can properly fix it? Should I stop in each town and look for a decent maintenance shop on the way to Chiquimula? How much is this output shaft going to cost me? Is this output shaft even available in Central America? Will I even find a shop capable of doing the repair? I guess time will tell. And here comes the lovely traffic I've been reading so much about online. Man, when it rains, it pours. When I was planning this trip back in December, I knew I would have breakdowns. But when I had lost complete ability to drive the bike, I started seeing visions of broken transmission parts floating around inside the engine case, causing catastrophic damage. I also visualized this happening in the middle of a mountain pass with no one in sight, a setting sun, and no food and water. These are really scary thoughts that I kinda knew it could happen, but didn't think it would. I'm just so lucky that this breakdown did occur on the outskirts of a city, where I was able to find help quickly. Yeah, thinking more about this, I'm beginning to learn the true meaning of Murphy's Law. Now that I have left the Guatemala City metro area, I have my target set on Chiquimula. I've found a camping spot located on the grounds of a hotel just to the southeast called Los Laurales. Hopefully they have some fast Wi-Fi there, and I can figure out the next step in fixing my bike properly. As the miles pass by, I am gaining more confidence in my botched repair, but that's not stopping me from scoping out any potential workshops along the way to Chiquimula. My stress level has been steadily declining with lots of help from this beautiful backdrop. I have to remind myself that this isn't a weekend getaway trip. It's a trip of a lifetime, and I certainly feel privileged to be able to do it. I am now riding through the town of Jalapa as a last attempt before Chiquimula to find a decent motorcycle shop, and I'm guessing if I don't find anything here, chances are I won't find a decent shop anywhere in Guatemala. Nothing here. So when will I be able to repair this bike properly? I'm not sure if I'll have any luck in Honduras. Maybe Costa Rica will have a good workshop, but will my repair last that long? I finally made it to Los Laureles, and am greeted by the friendly security guard who showed me to my camping spot. After settling in, I asked the receptionist if there was a Suzuki dealer in town. She told me that there was one. I explained to her my situation, and she gave the dealer a call for me. The mechanic there said that they were equipped to handle this kind of repair, and told me to bring the bike in. Fingers crossed. As you can see, my engine is now in 1,000 pieces. No parts are available in Central America, so I've decided to have everything shipped from the United States. This is what I call hurry up and wait.